Hey, happy Friday. I've been thinking about a topic lately being what is, and I generally want to know what is the kindest thing that somebody's ever said to you. The kind of thing where somebody says it to you and it just stays with you and you'll randomly think about it. And when you're having like a moment, you can bring it back to the forefront of your mind. Um, and it could be something small that may seem insignificant to other people, but to you in that moment meant a lot, or it's just something you've always carried with you. I think I have two, one more recent and then one from probably 10 years ago. Not that I've only heard two kind things in my, whole 20 years of life. um, but these things, for whatever reason, the way that they were said, or maybe just in the time that they were said, because like I said, they don't always have to be a big thing for it to be something that's like resonates extremely with you. The first one was 10 years ago, maybe plus 10 or 11 years ago. We had a house in an apartment in Massachusetts where all the neighborhood kids would come and play up in my apartment uh, with my kids. They would all just come up, knock on the door. Miss Reed would come play, and they all come play with my kids, or they come play out in the little yard or whatever. One of the little girls was 5, and she would play with my daughter. And one day her mom asked her, I wasn't there. Her mom had told me the next day about this conversation. She'd asked her, why do you always like going to Miss Reed's house? Because they'd want to come over like every day. Um, her mom was telling me about this the next day. And she said her little girl had said, because Miss Reed makes me feel safe. And it's such a simple thing. But that has always stuck with me um, as one of the greatest compliments to my character that I'd ever had. And then one more recently, Thursday, yes, Thursday night, I was at a benefit dinner with some friends, and one of the associate pastors at my church was there. And him and I were just having a little chit chat. Y'all know I love a chit chat. And he said, there's something about my spirit that has shifted in the past couple of years. And I mean, I agree. The Lord has really done a big work on me recently. Um, but the way that he said it was very interesting. And I think it's something that I will always remember. He said, you carry a certain type of, I'm going to say it wrong, countenance. And he repeated it a couple times. He said, there's a countenance to your spirit that wasn't there before, and it's notable. Your spirit has shifted in this way, and people see it on you. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. That's so kind. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all because we're friends. I did not know. I know a lot of words. I did not know that one. I went home and I Googled what countenance means because I did not know. And I think looking it up, then I kind of went into a deep dive of the biblical meaning of countenance. And I really feel like I might be pronouncing it incorrectly. I don't know. But I wrote it down to tell you guys because I just thought it was the sweetest compliment to the work that the Lord, not really me, but that God is working in me, and just the sweetest compliment. And for somebody to see the character, I just thought it was really nice. It says countenance meaning, the biblical meaning that I have looked up. And some of the synonyms that went along with that is inner spiritual joy, like your facial expression was more kind of like the general definition on that one, I guess. Presence reflects what is happening on the inside of the heart, a manifestation of God's character and favor. And thinking back on all those, I was like, that was such a thoughtful compliment. And I think it's one of those things that will stay with me for years to come in those moments when I need to pull into something and like be like, okay, I need a moment of encouragement, I can think back to those kind words. Like, of course, I always pull from, maybe not always, I'm human, but as much as possible, I try to always just get my encouragement from the Lord. But sometimes, um, even though I think as humans we don't necessarily need to have that boost, right? But sometimes it just helps to hear a kind word. Some of the scripture that was with it was Proverbs 15:13, not with it, but that had that word in it. Because, like I said, I went into the deep dives. Proverbs 15:13 says, "A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken." Job 29:24, you wouldn't think anything fabulous would be said in Job, but it really is kind of sweet and tenderhearted. "If I laughed on them, they believed it not, and the light of my own countenance they cast not down." It means they didn't bring down his spirit. I think that's beautiful. And then the last one I wrote down was Psalm 21:6. My writing got a little smudged. "For thou hast made him most blessed forever. Thou hast made him exceedingly glad with thy countenance. Countenance made him most." I just thought those were really sweet. And those are things that I'll probably carry with me for years, just years to come. But I'm genuinely curious. What is your thing? Like, what is something that somebody has said to you that has marked your character and something that you'll carry with you for years and years? Big or small, or maybe just the perfect moment that you needed to hear it. I am curious. Please tell me. Let's share. Let's lift each other up. Love y'all.